I think that's awesome.
TGC, take one, podcast.
Clip, right? Can we clank them together?
Oh, yeah.
I like that we have a Winged Foot practice ball. Totally scarfed it from the range.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know?
Heck yeah, we're gonna scarf the practice balls.
Right?
I
When
wouldn't be a true golfer if I didn't.
I know.
Or I
When you go
wouldn't.
to
Or
a
I wouldn't be an honest golfer if I didn't.
when you go to the course and they have Pro Vs, but they're practice balls, still
With,
gonna take those.
with the winged foot logo on it.
Yeah, that's a nice. It's a nice golf ball. They just stamped practice on it.
Let me double confirm I clicked play. Just because
Yeah,
Matt would be like, I twitch.
yeah. No, we'll,
After
we'll just yeah we'll
we do
just
the
we'll
whole
just
thing.
roll with this.
Yeah.
So this is episode 1 of our podcast, brought to you by That Golf Couple. I think as this continues to go, I told CJ before that we'll probably do a little rebranding. I want to identify with the golfer out there and basically someone who's looking to learn about the game, wants to know a little bit more and whatnot. And there's no real agenda to this episode. But, I kind of get the feeling of, I guess I have an intention, and I teach a lot of people that seem to struggle and sometimes suffer over this game. But it's a wonderful game, a great teacher, and I've come so much to appreciate it. You know me on my journey in golf, and anybody who's listening, I'll certainly share that throughout this podcast. And CJ has her stories too. So,
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
yeah.
Just here to sit and chat with you guys, have a good time. A little bit of a different video. We're exploring our ways. I know we've done some streaming. I know we've done some how-tos, video equipment reviews, golf vlogs, video shorts. Just trying to see kind of what hits, what you guys are enjoying. It seems like a lot of you guys got in when we were doing the streaming, which was really cool and fun for Matt and I. So yeah, we just wanted to try this avenue and see if if the golf podcast is something that you guys would want to listen to from us.
Oh no, we're doing it. We're doing it. No trying. Well, there will be no try, only do. So, I mean, kind of what comes to mind for me is, I guess I want to talk to anybody who wants to start golf or is kind of curious about it. And I'm curious for you if you could share with some people what that's been like for you. So you're how far into golf, and what do you like about it most, and what do you find is kind of the next couple years for you?
So let's start with the first part because I'm short track minded a little bit. So the first part was how long I've been into golf, right? So I started my journey in 2015 is when I really picked up a golf club and was like, let me go to the range and hit some golf balls. I had no idea what really to expect, but it was a lot of fun. And all I did in 2015 was just in the summer go to the range. That's it. And then come 2016, I started to really kind of enjoy golf a little bit more and wanted to get out there and try and practice on some par 3 courses and play 9 holes and all that stuff. Play in the evening rounds, at the 4 o'clock twilight hours when you're not going to be pushed by other people and you get to really learn how to play golf. So that was kind of when I started, and then migrate into 2017 of my senior year in college. I did college golf for a D3 school, and that was a lot of fun. We did a few tournaments there. Nothing too serious, but it was a lot of free golf, and I had a great time. And then it started picking up well after college and into my young adult career, I guess if you will. And it's really picked up, of course, now doing the golf channel with Matt. And I've been golfing for a little bit, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a good game. It's been able to connect me with a lot of people. I've been able to make a lot of friends. I've done a solo golf trip before to North Carolina. That was a great experience. I had a great time. It was something that I just wanted to do, and I did it. Yeah, so that's kind of like my journey and how I started really into golf.
And what's been like one of your biggest challenges with golf?
To be honest, if we're being frank, remembering my score is the challenging part for my golf.
So what do you mean remember?
Because I shoot so high, I forget. I'm so invested in each and every shot that I forget how many shots I had on one hole. So sometimes I'm like, oh wow, I really hit that really nice. And then I'm so focused on getting the ball in the cup that I'm like, oh crap, how many shots did I have? So I have this cheat sheet for myself. I have a notepad, and I'll mark down all the holes 1 through 18, and I will tally each and every shot I take. And I know you can remember based on which clubs, how many times you hit your club. Sometimes people do counter ticker things. Sometimes people use these like little bead counters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the first time I saw that was in college. Some girls had it on the back of their bags and stuff where you could just like remember it. And that's like for people who are like pretty, high shooters. And that's
Pretty bad at math. I'm sorry, I just think it's funny,
Well,
You know when you gotta
two handicap
when you
person
just
here.
have to start getting your calculus. Listen, I
28, hello.
listen. When I started out, I was not a 2 handicap.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not think for 1 second that I started. I started out shooting 120. And
Yeah, welcome to the club.
yeah, listen, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
It's
I'm just joking.
been more than a process to to get from where I was. Where I was to where I am is a whole book in and of
Exactly.
itself. It's several books.
So how many years has it taken you then from when you started your golf journey? Like walk me through that from shooting a 120 to now a 2 handicap. What's that like been for you?
Yeah, you know what was most important for me, and I want to like preface it because I'm not saying that anybody has to just that coming out of my mouth, like you have to be good at it, or you have to. I really like sports. I really like sports. I love the challenge of golf. I love that you're accountable to yourself. I love that if you put work in, you get the results out. I played baseball and we played as a team, and I worked hard. And it bothered me a little bit as a kid that I would work hard, but the rest of the team wouldn't. And I was like, I kind of lost interest, and that's okay. I just loved golf. Hitting the golf ball, the practice for me, I fell in love with the practice. And the way that you get better at anything, whether you're really good at like another sport or you're really good at your job, you put the reps in.
Yeah.
I always believe that people have this success formula with whatever they do. You go to the gym and you got your fitness down, you eat well, whatever it is that you would consider yourself, I'd call it a top 5%er at anything. And there's a formula to that. And then you just point that formula to, maybe something that you don't have experience in or you want to get better in. And for me, it was just, I knew how to get better at baseball. And, I remember basketball too. We had a little hoop when we were younger.
You playing basketball.
And so I would practice.
funny.
I would practice and
Were you-
practice and practice.
Were you a point guard?
Yeah, point guard, shooting guard. Which what do you
too,
think I'm
eh?
a center?
No, me
You
too.
know?
Hey, give me some
I
knocks.
gotcha, I
Give me
gotcha.
some knocks. I was like the number 2 guard though,
Mm-hmm.
In my heyday, I was number 1 guard. But then like everybody caught up to me in high school, and then I went back down.
Because
to
you're
2.
fast.
I am.
You're speedy.
I am pretty speedy.
You played soccer too. That suits you.
Yeah, soccer was my sport. I really was in love with like Mia Hamm back in the day. Wanted to be number 9 for everything forever.
Sure.
But yeah, loved it. It was a good sport.
So adding to that, it's so you find what you're good at, right? To bring it to basketball, I was never like the primary scorer. I knew how to set other people up, and
Oh,
for
sure.
golf, like I can hit the ball far, but it's not how I really do well. I just don't make a lot of mistakes out there. I don't put myself in positions to make mistakes. So
Maybe it's like a memory thing too for me. I'm thinking about it. It's like you're just really good at remembering things. For me,
could be.
memory is like a. It's weird. I remember stories and smells and very specific things, but like when it comes to like short-term memory loss, I feel like it's just I struggle completely. But
Hey.
long-term memory, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember exactly this episode in SpongeBob SquarePants. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Like
So maybe there's like an emotional
I don't know.
charge to it too. Like for
Maybe.
SpongeBob, you're probably like that was a very happy time for you. Maybe maybe shooting a score is not as pleasant of an experience, and it's not a diss or anything. It's just
I find it so interesting though how players can remember, especially like pros when they're doing their conferences and excuse me, they're talking about a shot that they had back in 2016 on the ninth hole. Greens were going left to right. The wind was coming up a little bit from the back or whatever. It's like they remember everything, and I'm just like, that's impressive.
it's no different than a SpongeBob
Yeah,
episode.
but
It
it's
really
interesting.
isn't.
I feel like if it's a very significant shot where you're shooting an albatross or you hold it out or something like that, but I feel like the average person doesn't remember every single hole, every single round they play. But
And I think it's
I don't
important
know.
to
It's
to
interesting.
to say that you don't have to.
Right.
I think one mistake that a lot of golfers make when they start out is thinking they have to play like everybody else plays. I think I am so against that.
Truth.
I so encourage people, listen, if you want to putt lefty and chip righty, shoot your shot. This is not a game that needs to be played a specific way. The reason I love golf is because it's such a brand new canvas every time. You're never going to hit the same shot twice.
Mm-hmm.
There's always unique challenges.
It's true.
And you could go to the range and it could be like a therapy session,
Mm-hmm.
or you could go and play with your friends. It could be a social hour, you grab drinks afterwards, during. It's such a flex and flow type of sport, or you could play competitively. And nobody says that you have to do any of them
Mm.
or that you have to climb that. The goal of golf isn't to play competitively. To me, it's to enjoy it at its utmost capacity. And I believe that learning a little bit about improving your game is a big part of it too. I think that is like something that pours into people's cups. So that's one of the things that we love to do on this channel is give people some insights on how to improve and how to look at things
Mm-hmm.
and just some options. I think a lot of like instruction or anything like that is like, oh, you're not playing good enough. It's just there's nothing wrong with the way you play, but it's like up to you to decide if you want to improve things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I know you played some tournaments this year and you come to me and you say, "Oh, like I really want to learn to hit this shot." You
Mm.
asked me about the flop shot and it's like
Yeah.
there's a million things I could teach you, but unless it's something that you want to do,
Right.
it won't matter.
Yeah, that was a really good video too. If you guys haven't watched that, I recommend you looking at how to hit a flop shot. Because I never had that shot in my bag before, as golfers would say, and now I have that in the bag where I can try and utilize that instead of hitting a little pitch shot that I always do and it just goes whoosh, too far or
Yeah.
whatever, or it goes I hit the ground and it goes nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's something interesting where I could just kind of like thin it, scoop it, psh, psh,
Mhm.
and see what I can do.
And so the way that I see it that I think is really important with all of it is like you just want to play better in some of those
Mm-hmm.
tournaments, and those are shots that'll really help you do that. And it's very rewarding too when you
That'd
can
be
do that.
that'd be actually really cool to see a lady hit a flop shot in a tournament. So like I'm part of the LPGA Amateur League, and I find that it's a lot of like it's amateur for a reason, but you don't see a lot of ladies pulling out different shots for their bag. It's always a very
It's so true.
consistent a pitch shot.
Yeah.
sand shot,
Yeah.
irons, hybrids,
You don't see
driver.
many ladies who hit the ball high.
No, not a lot. Definitely not a lot. So it's like, that'll be really cool if I could execute something like that and someone can appreciate what had just happened. And like, that's what you're going to remember.
Yeah.
Like, I remember hitting my first eagle shot. I was with one of my friends, Karen, from the league.
Shout out to Karen.
Yeah, right. Shout out Karen.
Just throwing some love out there. Why not?
My golf mom. I
Yeah.
have 2 golf moms, both named Karens, coincidentally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hit 3-wood, and then I hit another 3-wood. I was on the edge on the left-hand side. We were at the Sprain. I'm trying to remember the course. I remember the shot. So I hit 3-wood, 3-wood, and I was right on the edge of the green, and I didn't know if I should putt it or if I should use a little pitch shot, because sometimes my short game isn't like, it's not my strong suit, and I feel like I could get away with a putt, but for whatever reason I felt compelled to use my pitching wedge. So I went for the pitch shot, completely like sculled it, but like in the softest way possible, and it just rolled in the cup. I did not plan on doing that, and it just worked out. And I was like, wow, that was really cool. And Karen goes, nice birdie. And I'm like, 1. Like, I know I'm bad at counting, guys. I was like, 1, 2, and I just took out my pitching wedge. It's like, that's 3 and a par 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, no, I got an eagle.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so pumped. I was like, this is really cool. And then I remember a time you and we were golfing, and we were at, was it James Barrett I hold out? James Barrett I hold it?
I remember
No,
you doing it at
It
McCann.
was McCann. I hold out from 100 yards.
Yeah.
What hole was that? Was
That
that
was
on the
the
front
third
nine?
hole.
Yeah, third hole. Couldn't see it going up. And you're like, that went right at the cup.
Yeah, it was like perfect. So it goes over a little crest. You can see the flag, but then you just can't see where it rolls out to. And I was like, that's pretty close. You know, it was pretty close.
That's so cool. Walk me through some like memories, like fun memories that you've had at golf. You've played so much competitive golf, so much fun golf.
Sure.
What are some things that really stuck out to you?
Yeah, I mean, so I'll lay this out by saying what I appreciate most about golf is a well-struck shot. Mm-hmm. It's not winning tournaments. It's not like the practice is like a close second. But I mean, practice is the context of where I can hit well-struck shots. I've never hit a shot in a tournament that I haven't hit in practice. Practice, I have much more of a capacity, if that makes any sense, to do different things, to hit it high,
Yeah.
left to right, right to
explore.
left, control, explore is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And I remember we actually played this hole together in South Carolina, Pawleys Plantation. I think it's the first hole. It's the first hole that we played, but when I played it from the, I guess the back 9, then the front 9. And my second shot in there was just, it was one of those moments that I just hit it so purely, and I could, like, sometimes players try and hit like a draw or a fade, and you're trying to flight the ball, it's really called. And I just remember hitting it perfectly and flighting it at like the trail end of the whole flight. And it was there was so much control.
Yep.
I counted for the wind. And it wasn't necessarily the closest shot, but it was the most well-executed shot I could have possibly hit.
Yep.
I love just striking the ball solidly. I love to hit a bunch of greens. I think that's so much fun. And I like to hit it close when, you're green side. I think that little tap in is like, it just shows how hard you worked. It makes it look, you make it look easy,
Yep.
out of the bunker or something. And, as I'm talking about all this, I'm picturing all the people listening that are like, oh God, I wish I could do any of those well. And you can. just I think the success for me has been I've so loved the process, and that's the most important thing, is that you just enjoy what you do, and there's no don't shoot to try and do what I do or do what CJ does. It's like
It's your game.
exactly.
Make it yours. No one's gonna draw the same painting. No one's or whatever. You know what I'm saying. No
Yeah.
one's gonna.
It's your own thumbprint
Yeah,
on it.
you're your own person out there.
Mm-hmm.
Phil's his own person. Matt Wolf's his own guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Fowler. They all have different swings, but they all have similar goals.
Yeah.
To get better, to win tournaments, they all have the same like end goal or similar goals.
And they all play for different
win
reasons
tournaments.
too.
Right, exactly.
Some are there to win majors and they like play for the 4 majors. Others are trying to keep a card. You go to like a lot of the origin stories of like Justin Thomas or Sergio Garcia, and their dads played and they have a real connection with them, and there's no I know a lot
gonna
of
be on tour with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
We'll see if that's something he wants to do though.
Sure.
He looks really good. It was fun watching them play in that tournament together.
I know that PNC father-son.
The kid was so good.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows if it's something that you want to do, or if it's something.
John Daly's son too, same deal.
Yeah. You look
are
like a
you
mini John Daly with the big beer gut too.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure hits it well. I'll
Yeah.
give him that.
Yeah. Hey, he's playing in college,
Yeah,
doing
he
well.
gives him
Doing a
an
good job.
opportunity to go to college.
What is it, Arizona State?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Got it.
The Razorbacks. Yeah, big roots there for the Daly family.
Got it.
So that's like, I guess that's what I would say.
It's like your most memorable golf
Yeah, it's just,
moments.
it's hard for me to pick moments. I could tell stories, probably a lot of stories, but,
More
I
the
want
journey of getting there.
I want to keep in mind the person that's viewing this, and just, like I certainly have stories about it, but what I think is more important is facilitating other people's journeys. And the one thing that's really helped me through all of this is optimism.
Yep.
I've had plenty of bad days. I've had plenty of, and being that I'm so emotionally and physically invested into this game, I've had some, the highs are higher and the lows are lower. And those low days have really shaped me as a person. But what's really helped me is just being optimistic about tomorrow's going to be better. It's only one shot. Focus on the next one. And that whole process for me has shaped me as a person. And it helps me show up tomorrow, shake it off. And it's just been such a great teacher for me. And, that's something I guess I can share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not bad. Yeah, I can dig it. Anything else you want to share for the...
Let's get a golf ball clink for the audio.
Yeah,
Listeners.
Right? There you go. That'll be our little...
That'll be the podcast intro.
The audio
The audio
signature.
The audio experience by Gary V.
Love Gary V.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out
gosh.
to Gary.
Yeah,
Gary
shout out to
Bear.
Gary. Shout out to Tony Robbins. Who
Roni Tobbins.
do you
for the
want
kids
to
out
shout it out to? Sean?
Sean Cannell.
Yep. All of our supporters.
Dr. Disrespect. Who else? Unlisted Leaf. We got Leonhardt.
Leonhardt, yeah.
Pokey Chloe.
All the people that inspire us
Yeah.
to get out there and do
Jesus
some stuff.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Pokemaniac Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of good YouTube friends that we enjoy watching. It's great connecting with those people too,
Yeah.
to be honest. So
Quite nice.
it is really cool, actually.
So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up on that. Keep it short and simple. I'm sure it's probably a lot longer than we think it is, but
Yeah. First episode of the TGC golf podcast. What was our original title of this?
yeah, it's just our first
How
podcast
to be a
here,
golfer,
and yeah, just like sharing stories. I don't know that we really have named it, but I want to keep in mind the people that are listening, and if you guys have questions, if there's anything that we can help with along this journey, Like I said, I'm definitely committed to keep sharing these, and I'm teaching full time now, so I'll have a lot of people that are struggling with their game, and I'll be able to kind of give some chime in on my thoughts. Not about the technique so much, because I think people stress about the technique, but more about the fundamentals and the psychology behind it.
Right.
And really what I believe has helped me succeed is that optimism, persistence, and things of that nature. So it's not your typical golf podcast, but this is our gift to give.
Yeah, I love it. It's ours to share and explore. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and let us know in the comments below what we can do if you guys have any topics that you'd like us to talk about. And hopefully this is the first of many.
I love
More
it.
to come.
Till next time. Thumb more.
You got big thumbs.
I do.
Plus you're going with the elbow, so you're like getting the leverage.
You're holding a golf ball.
Yeah, so it's a disadvantage for me.
That's the episode.
Goodbye.
You're right, always.